Hey everyone, I hope you had a fantastic April, but seeing as it's the end of the month, it's time we all move on to May. And with that comes setting up my bullet journal for the new month. So I figured I would turn on the camera and make a little plan with me video to show you what I'm doing in my bullet journal for the month of May. Before we start, I just want to say that my method of bullet journaling is a little different than what you might have seen other people do. There's certain spreads that almost everyone does that I have found just don't work for me. In particular, the habit tracker and the future log. I found that with those two spreads in particular, I just never used them. And also, I felt like if I missed a day with the habit tracker in particular, I felt like I messed up my bullet journal for the month. It wasn't complete, and it just made me not want to use it the rest of the month. So I've decided that my bullet journal is supposed to be much more fluid, and I try to set it up in a way that I don't feel penalized if I miss a day. So I try to make my spreads not day specific and more just general feeling so that I never have that guilty feeling if I skip a day. You'll see what I mean once we start planning. The stickers that I'm going to be using today are these that I just created yesterday actually. And unfortunately, these ones are not available in my shop just because they are kind of last minute and they're not really complete. I just kind of threw some things together. For example, the 1 week sketchbook challenge is something I want to do this month. So these don't have all the usual headers that my kits typically have, so I didn't want to sell it in my shop. And additionally, I felt like the floral graphics went more with the month of May and possibly June, but I have so many other ideas for June, July, and August kits that I just didn't feel like it was necessary putting this one in particular on my shop. But that being said, if you are really interested in this design, then leave a comment below or send me a message on my Etsy shop and I'd be more than happy to do that for you. You might just have to let me know what exactly you want down here because I feel like these are very specific to what I'm doing today. So I can customize that for you if you want this particular sheet. That being said, I do have other kits available on my Etsy shop, which I'll leave a link to in the description box below. So if you're interested in using stickers, I do have a variety of different ones available, such as these beautiful watercolor ones. These are part of my new releases for May. I'm going to be making a video of all my new releases probably tomorrow. But yeah, I have lots of kits available on my shop, so if you're interested in using stickers, definitely check out my Etsy shop. So without further ado, let's just get planning. After opening to the next page of my journal, I'm just popping down this giant May sticker onto the page. I like to have it very obvious where one month ends and the next month begins. So I like to have one big decorative sticker, or even just something that I draw on the page to make it very clear when I start a new month. These stickers also, you can see, have a cream colored border around them. So I'm going to start offering that option in my Etsy shop. Previously, I only had the white edges around these stickers, but the Moleskine and the Leuchtturm 1917 both have slightly off-white pages, so recently I've just decided to start offering the cream color around the edge so that it blends seamlessly into the page. I'm also just writing a quote under the May sticker to give it a little bit of character. Next, I'm going to be setting up my month at a glance view, and for this I'm just going to separate the section off by drawing a line and putting down a sticker that says at a glance. I found that I personally don't need a whole page or a whole 2 pages dedicated to a month at a glance calendar, and instead I actually really like having a mini calendar underneath that I can use highlighters on to highlight particular days. So that's what I'm doing now, is just popping down a sticker that says this month, which has the month of May on it. And next to it, you'll see I'm going to be creating a key using some different colored highlighters that I can mark different days throughout the month as necessary. The 3 colors that I'm going to be using this month are green, gray, and pink. The green I'm going to use to mark when I upload videos or blog posts. The gray is going to be designating when I'm doing the 1 week sketchbook challenge. And the red is to mark when we are out of the house or traveling. You'll see in a moment, once I'm done writing down the color labels, that I'll be marking May 14th in pink, and that's because May 14th is Mother's Day, and I'm sure we'll be out of the house for a little bit on that day. So far, I think that's the only day this month we're going to be traveling or out of the house, which is kind of a relief because we've been traveling a lot over the past few months. My brother recently just got married last weekend, so there's been a lot going on between all the bridesmaids stuff and just family things in general, so it's nice to have more time at home. I also used gray to mark May 3rd through May 10th as the week that I'm doing the 1-week sketchbook challenge. And with that, we're done with the first page, so I'm going to flip it over, and this next spread is going to be the 1-week sketchbook challenge. In one of my previous haul videos, I showed some sketchbooks that I bought because I really wanted to actually finish a sketchbook. And I've been really good about it, guys. I think I've gotten over my sketchbook fear of ruining them, and I'm actually using them, and it's really exciting. That being said, the current sketchbook that I'm working on has a significant number of pages, and the pages themselves are also pretty large, so I'm not going to be able to finish that one anytime soon. I've also seen the 1-week sketchbook challenge floating around YouTube for a while now, and it's something that I definitely wanted to try. The challenge is exactly how it sounds. You just try to finish a whole sketchbook in 1 week. I'm going to be using an A5 sketchbook that has 30 pages, so it should be about 4 to 5 pages a day. To give myself the greatest chance of success, I am dedicating this page in my bullet journal to writing down 30 different ideas that I can come back and reference if I'm ever stuck and not knowing what to draw. I'm putting a little pink circle next to each line as a check mark that I can mark off every time I've done something so I can quickly glance and see what's still available and what I've already done. I filled out most of the items today, but I couldn't quite think of 30 of them, so there's a few left at the bottom that I'll fill in either tomorrow or the next day before the challenge starts. The next page is my goals breakdown. This month I only have one goal, but if I had multiple, I would put the header on this page and just continue writing things down on the next page as needed. The purpose of this page is to help me visually see how close I am to accomplishing my goals and what steps exactly I need to take to get there. It's really common for motivational or goal-setting websites to tell you to write down your goals and do so into a very granular step-by-step process. But I feel like that's something that even someone like me that is a goal setter and I always write down my goals at a higher level, I never actually break it down into literally exactly what I need to do to achieve them. So for this page, like I said, I only have one goal. I'm just creating a goal section and a milestone section. So my goal this month is to launch nelizabethmultimedia.com, which is where I'm going to be offering digital downloads and graphic resources for people that want to buy graphics to make things, either commercially or personally. Once we have our goal defined, what we want to do is start making an outline. Each step of the way, we're going to write down a task that we need to do to achieve the goal. And as you write it down, think if there's any subtasks that can be done in order to achieve that goal. So my first one says purchase scanner for artwork. That one's pretty simple. There's nothing I really need to do step by step other than go online and purchase a scanner. My next task that I need to do is to finish some art for the website. So to finish 5 watercolor sets, I'm going to list down the 5 sets that I want to make. You'll want to continue this process until you have all of the tasks that you think you need to achieve your goal. I only have goals up to 2 levels deep because I couldn't think of anything that would be 3 levels deep, but like I said, don't be afraid to, at each step, think if there's any sub-goals. Even if it's a sub-item, you should still indent further and write down sub-goals to achieve that goal if you can think of any. These 2 pages are the only pages I set up before the month begins, and at the top of the next page, I'm just going to put down some stickers that say daily pages to mark that the daily pages are starting. As I said earlier, I'm a very fluid planner. I don't find myself using pages if I have to flip backwards, and I prefer just to start writing things down, and if I come up with an idea for a new page, I'll just start it on the next available page. You'll notice that none of the pages in my bullet journal have sections to write down things every day or in the future or anything that's predated. And that's because if you miss a day, for me at least, it was difficult not to feel guilty about it because I had a section there and I was supposed to write something down, but I didn't. So that's why you won't see a habit tracker, or even on my daily or weekly pages, I don't write down each day of the week. Because if I write down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but then I skip Tuesday, then I can see that big, ugly, empty Tuesday mark staring me in the face every time I open my bullet journal. So I prefer to just write down the current day and if I don't bullet journal again until Wednesday or Thursday, it's not a big deal because I just start the next day when I start. Another tip that I want to share is when I write down my goals for each day, or just my to-do list, I showed you in a different video, but I like to use my dashes to measure how long a task will take. So I had a bad habit of writing everything down I could think of that I wanted to do, but that obviously wasn't possible to do in one day. So I've created a habit of using 3 dashes to mark a very long task, 2 to mark a medium-sized task, and 1 to mark a relatively small task. So you can see here there's the 3 dashes for create and post new listings to Etsy, and the 1 dashes for everything else because those are pretty simple. I like this method because it prevents me from writing down too many large tasks all in one day. And you can see with that we have finished the May setup. I'm just going to play some music and show some close-ups of the pages, but I want to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment box below.